Andapia was there for the kids' annual time with the president.
At this year's interaction, President Mahama told the children his government considers basic education a priority. Nonetheless, the children had concerns, including their teachers' salaries.
I would like to know the reason why some teachers have been recruited for so many years now without payment of their salaries.
Mr. President, I would like to know why there have been delays in releasing feeding grants to special schools in Ghana. I would like to present this Christmas card as a token to you and your Excellency Lordina Mahama.
Speaking on the delays in allocation to special schools, President Mahama said the Finance Ministry is exploring a new automated system starting next year to eliminate these delays.
It's the budgeting process that has made it difficult, for these releases to be done on time. The Ministry of Finance is carrying out major reforms. We're putting the budget on what we call an automated platform, which is called the gift miss. And the gift miss would ensure that processing of requests for releases are processed quickly and on time. Currently, we use an analog system, so it will not only affect the special schools, but all schools, that when the Ministry of Education requests for releases for feeding grant and other, obligations that government has to your schools, these can be processed fast so that you receive them as quickly as possible. How come teachers are employed for many years and they don't have salaries? That one, I know the institutional structure right now is not the best and we need to reform it. But as I was saying, the automation of the Ministry of Finance will also help to curtail some of these delays.
He said the establishment of Millennium Schools by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly is evidence of what government intends to do with education.
The Accra Metropolitan Authority has done a lot of good work. You can see the new Millennium Schools. They are so beautiful. They look so magnificent, big. They have all the facilities. And so because of those new Millennium Schools, we are gradually abolishing the shift system in Accra. And I'm sure that we will completely abolish it before 2016. We're also working to remove all schools under trees. And so we have built quite a number of them. And between now and 2016, we are hoping that we'll be able to completely clear all the schools and the trees. The GET Fund and the Ministry of Education are going to work with your district assemblies to make sure that we roll out as many classroom blocks in order that we are able to eliminate schools and the trees.
The children were not oblivious to what they called economic hardships in the country, as they put it to him. Admitting to the hardships, President Mahama told them efforts are being made to make life easier for people, adding next year would be better as the economy is responding positively. Those from up north, however, were worried about their roles, whereas others were concerned about ICT education. He assured them contractors are being paid as various programs have been lined up by the Education Ministry to motivate ICT teachers and to spread laptops across the country. The time for interaction with the president was instituted by late President John Mills. Each year, children are selected from different schools in all 10 regions, as well as special schools in the country, to meet and interact with the president. Gifty Andopia, Joy News, Castle Gardens.
Well, the president has been defining specific roles of public officials in national development and those to be held responsible for any failure to deliver. He said although every citizen has a role, specific institutions and heads of such must take blame for underdevelopment depending on the needs of society which are not met. He singled out sanitation as a core responsibility of district chief executives and also used the opportunity to caution against reckless driving this Yuletide. The president was responding to questions by school children at the former seat of government, the Osei Castle.
We put in place education measures to try and educate drivers on what their responsibilities are. But all of us have responsibilities to ensure our own safety. If you are in a vehicle and the driver is driving carelessly, don't sit as a passive passenger and let him go and kill you. It is your duty to correct him. If he doesn't heed to you, there are police barriers along the route. When he gets to the next police barrier, you, the passengers, must report him to the police that we're going to deploy more police officers on the roads. The drivers don't like it when we deploy more police officers because they say they're harassing them. But we need to do that to ensure the safety of our citizens. And so more police officers will go on the road. They'll go with speed guns and they'll catch drivers who are overspeeding, and they'll make sure that they respect the traffic regulations. If you talk of security, security is the duty of government because government controls the police force and the police service. And so if you are in a community and you don't have security, then you can look to government. If you are talking of sanitation and garbage collection, your garbage is not collected, that one is not the president who is supposed to come to your district and collect your garbage. It's the responsibility of your district chief executive. And so you blame the district chief executive and the district assembly. So depending on what it is, if you're in your community and you don't have good places of convenience, if you want to go to toilet, there are no good toilets and things, it's the district assembly. And that is why every year government takes about 8% of total national revenue and pays it directly to your districts to handle issues to do with sanitation, garbage collection, beautification of your district capital, small roads within the capital, and so on and so forth. So I cannot say one thing and say that it is you should blame this person. Each and everything is within different people's responsibility.
Having unprotected sex comes with its own consequences, including pregnancy or the possibility of being infected with a sexually transmitted infection. Teenage girls are especially vulnerable because at their age, they're yet to fully understand the biological changes occurring in their bodies. Experts are therefore of the view the decision to get pregnant should no longer be left to the teenage mother because of the far-reaching consequences.
The nation's World Population Report estimates that about 80% of the world's 1.8 billion teenagers explore their sexuality before the age of 18 years. The decision to have or not to have sex at an early age is one of the many emotional and mental challenges confronting many young people. The impact young people have on the socio-economic development of their various countries can hardly be overlooked. Indeed, the future belongs to them. But for many young girls, the prospect of having a bright future, laced with a good job, family and good health, can be rudely cut short when in their quest to make that crucial decision to have sex is accompanied with an unwanted pregnancy or sexually transmitted disease.
In Ghana, the situation where we have seen a lot of early marriage and also early pregnancies, which is affecting girls mainly. And we know we have seen the difficulties to stay in school and to stop their going to school and not being educated for the future. And we know adolescents will become adults, and adults without education have limited chance to find a job and to have a normal and healthy life.
Young people have very high expectations of themselves. The expectations is even higher from society, especially parents who expect their sons and daughters to reach their full potential to make them proud. So when incidents such as unwanted teenage pregnancy sets in, the marginalization and names calling from society gravely affect their chances to pick up the pieces of their lives and move on. Experts say there is the need to protect the teenage girl and believes the best form of protection must come from society.
In most parts of the world, it is girls who are impoverished, poorly educated, and rural girls who are more likely to become pregnant than their wealthier, urban, educated counterparts. And these are also mostly girls who lack choices and opportunities in life, or those with limited or no access to sex education and reproductive health services. It is necessary to note that poorly educated people are more likely to become pregnant in their adolescent years than those in urban areas who are educated.
They warn Failure to do so could lead to a sharp increase in the number of teenage mothers in the country and its corresponding pressures to the country's social amenities.
The Commissioner of Shraj has linked Thursday's fire at the old Parliament House to poor electrical wiring. Loretta Lamte admitted though the Commissioner has lost some files on key ongoing investigations, there was no cause for alarm.
Friends come in the wake of media reports that the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice had lost quite a substantial amount of documents in Thursday's fire outbreak at the old Parliament House. But the Commission thinks differently.
It will affect the pace of investigations where you've got to either source the documents again, or in some cases where it's work, investigative reports, they might have to be almost generated from scratch. But it really only affects the timing. Documents behind any investigation had to be gotten from somewhere. So the investigators know who they spoke to, where they got documents from. It will affect the timing and the pace of completion of investigations rather than affecting the conduct or the outcome. I can certainly say that loss of documents should not affect the outcome if we're able to replace the documents.
She also indicated Shraj has a solid backup system of files in its possession.
All recent work on any investigation, we are in an IT age, and therefore documents and correspondence are by and large by email and by and large backed up. And we do, certainly at senior management level, we are required to back up our documents fairly regularly. So without talking about specific investigations, because I don't think that would be appropriate, even where physical computers, apart from documents and files, physical computers with their memories have been burnt, you'll recognize that anything that's corresponded through by email or investigative reports that are sent from the Director Anti-Corruption to the Deputy Commissioner Anti-Corruption or to myself, these are sent electronically, and so these remain available.
The old Parliament House in Accra caught fire in the early hours of Thursday. The fire destroyed offices of the Accounts, Public Relations, and the main hall where the Judgment Death Commission sits to carry out its work.
Authorities at the Cape Coast Nurses and Midwifery Training College are appealing for help to connect the school's new site to the national electricity grid. The lack of electricity on the campus has compelled authorities of the institution to call for police protection for the students and members of staff during the night. This was disclosed by the principal of the college during a matriculation and congregation ceremony at the school in Cape Coast, from where Richard Kojonyako sent this report.
Following the increase in application to the Cape Coast Nurses and Midwifery Training College and the subsequent increase in intake of students, authorities of the college moved some of the students to a new structure put up for them by the government to avert the issue of overcrowding. But school authorities say life at the new site for students and members of staff is unbearable due to the numerous challenges they face there. The absence of electricity means students have to use torchlights for their studies in the evening. Speaking at the college's matriculation and congregation in Cape Coast, the principal of the school, Cecilia Mensah, said apart from the absence of electricity, students also have to struggle to get water for their daily chores. She noted authorities have had to call for police protection for the students who sleep in the dark to avert any unfortunate occurrence.
Even though there are challenges, we have called for police protection, so in the evenings policemen can come around till the following day, so that because the place is an open place, we want the children to be secure. And we have some few security men, and we come to, it's very difficult though. We've written letters, and how far the letters have gone, it's expected that by now we should see something. You can see that we have plowed. We requested for an assembly tractor, and they came to plow this place. But because they haven't started and the rains are on, it's growing again, and people have started dumping refuse and defecating around. So it's left to the government, wherever he finds money, to attend to Cape Coast, because we are centrally situated, we are important.
Apart from the electricity and water challenges, the school is also fighting to retain its lands, which are being encroached upon by residents of Abra. But the principal, Cecilia Mensah, says the matter of encroachment has been taken up seriously and it appears the school is making some headway. The principal of the school is, however, appealing for help to ensure the school gets electricity and water supplies to aid in teaching and learning. 286 midwifery students were matriculated, whilst 351 general nurses graduated from the school. Richard Kojonyaku's report.
From Cape Coast we go up country, where the Food and Drugs Authority has destroyed unwholesome products worth over 320 Ghana cedis, confiscate 20,000 Ghana cedis confiscated in the Upper West region. Products, according to the regional officer of the authority, were discovered during post-market surveys conducted during the year. Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
According to the Upper West Regional Officer of the Food and Drugs Authority, Akurugu Gordon, the items worth 320,590 Ghana cedis were seized from the markets during the post-market survey during the third and fourth quarters of the year. The items seized included food, drugs, cosmetics, household chemicals, which were displayed at shops in direct contravention of the law. The unwholesome products were taken to the Siriyiri refuse dump site, where they were destroyed in the presence of members of the Upper West Chemical Sellers Association, led by their regional chairman, Alhaji Obroni. According to Akurugu Gordon, in keeping with the authority's core mandate of ensuring public health and safety, its officers are always on the hunt for persons who have clandestine motives for selling unwholesome products. He urged the public to be vigilant, especially during the Yuletide, as some persons are bringing all manner of products to the region and are selling them at reduced rates in the name of the festive season.
They should not just go anywhere to buy drugs. They should not go anywhere, somebody walking in a polythene bag to purchase drugs. We have approved pharmacy. We have approved chemical sellers. They should walk to their shop and seek help from them. They should go to hospital. And then the consumer we are advising consumers to check the expired products, check the label, whether it's registered, it's expired, when it wasn't manufactured, the badge number.
Rafiq Salam, reports from Wa.
And we have more news coming up after the break. Don't go away. Star Ghana has signed the last batch of grant awards for its 4 thematic calls, including education, health, oil, gas, and access to justice and democratic governance projects. Out of the 200 applications for grants, only 29 met the criteria, with stations belonging to the multimedia group featuring prominently.
We had quite a huge number of proposals, and at the end of the day, the steering committee has approved 29 projects under the 2 calls, 17 under governance and 12 under access to justice. So out of the over 200 applications that we received, I think the 29 of you here are actually the cream of the cream, or the best of the best, who have been awarded grants to a total of $4.5 million, $3 million to support projects under the governance, and then $1.5 million to support projects under the access to justice, bringing the total to 4.5.
Of the numerous Star Ghana projects, this, they believe, is the most important of them all.
Good governance and the rule of law, as we all know, are fundamental to any efforts at sustainable and inclusive national development. We can do all we want to do in the areas of education, we can do all we want to do in the areas of oil and gas and health, but without good governance, without strong institutions, without citizens being able to assess their rights and be protected by the law, I think there's nothing that can go on. So that's why I'm saying that we've certainly saved the best for the last.
The Vice Chair of the Steering Committee of Star Ghana, Adelaide Adofening, stressed the initiative by Star Ghana is to encourage other civil society organizations and the citizenry to hold public officers accountable.
But fundamentally, we are establishing a foundation in this country where citizens engage where citizens understand the systems of governance, of justice. The systems are open to all Ghanaians, regardless of your background, regardless of your status, whether you are somebody who's disabled, whether you are excluded because you live in a community that you don't belong to.
The Chief Operating Officer of Multimedia Group, Klaus von Backenstein, signed the grant award on behalf of Multimedia Group and justified why the group was selected.
Our project is called We the People. This is a project that's going to create a platform for citizens at the grassroots levels to engage in ongoing discussions and also hold leadership at all levels responsible and accountable. Multimedia Group Limited applied for this because we have a very powerful network of media platforms, radio platforms, multiple channel TV platform, and our interactive media platforms. We believe that our network can push this agenda in a better way and also continue to engage and collaborate with our colleague grant partners in a more powerful way. We're therefore going to put the best of our people on this project to ensure that we execute flawlessly to achieve our objectives.
The chairman of the steering committee, Professor Akila Kwasoya, urged the beneficiaries to ensure there is value for money.
And the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Welfare has presented items to some selected orphanages and prisons across the country. The gesture, according to the ministry, is part of efforts to reach out to the underprivileged and deprived during the festive season.
Speaking at the short presentation ceremony held at the forecourt of the ministry, the Gender Minister Nana Oyelita explained the gesture forms part of the ministry's social protection intervention.
As the government machinery mandated to ensure the empowerment of the vulnerable, the excluded, aged and persons with disability through the use of social protection and other innovative interventions, we view this as our obligation towards achieving national development. I'm certain that this initiative to support the underprivileged will not only change their situation, give us positive social change, but will restore the dignity of our vulnerable and underprivileged in our society.
She added, government is working out on improving social protection policies to reach out more to the underprivileged and the vulnerable persons in the country.
At the end of every 2 months, the government of Ghana provides cash grants to underprivileged. 232,000 people across the 10 regions in Ghana, specifically in 99 districts. Apart from that, the government of Ghana is implementing 27 social protection interventions in all categories: national health insurance, free registration for the underprivileged. Under the Ministry of Local Government, over 80,000 persons help, we call it public works, in construction during the lean farming season. Out of that, we have 52,000 women who are helping to construct dams, to construct roads, to get some. This is our mandate, to help the poor and underprivileged. So we'll sustain this.
Across the 10 regions of Ghana, 5 orphanages and 5 female prisons were selected. They received bags of rice, gallons of oil, pieces of cloth, shoes, beverages, detergents and toiletries. Representatives from the beneficiary institutions showed appreciation to the ministry and promised to make good use of the items. The ministry also thanked sponsors for their contributions.
Christmas has come early for shea butter traders, largely due to the Harmattan. Etonamse has been exploring the case of shea butter going to the rescue of parched lips and pale skins.
everyone is freaking out. Okay, I exaggerate, but the dry weather we're experiencing in Ghana today has women and even men who would usually not bother to lotion scrambling for creams and balms just so they can avoid looking pale with sore lips, the kind of look that makes it too obvious that you have succumbed to the harsh weather, or as commonly referred in local parlance, Hamatan Acho. The trick is to stay moist all the time. Yes, the creams and lotions make an effort, but one stands tall amongst them all. It's the tried and tested shea butter. Apart from its healthy nutrients for the skin, it outlasts its peers and provides twice the moisture.
We are here at the Kaneshi market here in Accra, where I'm standing by a variety of shea butter. You can see them in different colors. We have white, we have cream, we have the yellow ones, and we have what they call the cocoa butter, the pure cocoa butter. And I'm told that it's been mixed with some ingredients, and it's good for babies, I'm told. And so I'll be speaking with one of the vendors here who will be telling me how booming business is here so far today. As I say, but to say, opening in Kutoniji, I can normal day, Bianca, Uton Bessing. Almost 600,000. But anybody, almost 1.something. I didn't know for some for top power pepper because of openings here. They will say where that it's here. Jomo bar, they were in a white one and a yellow one. A white one because the white one there. The white one, I know they're showing the rare one. I know they're every time I come for the moon day. It's a moon color the frame war. But where white one there were for the moon, yeah, it's a moon day. Run a customer. Man, that's saying, I'm not away. I said, when you're previous son. And Kuno, they say, never bring when they are pregnant, say. Yeto. Na tell you about it to Mosa this afternoon. Open in and look at Canibia. Yeto. Open in everything cartons and I feel they're opening to increase our percent. Oh, now some they want me to bet on better 300, 400. And so they say there. Yeah, you buy. I'm not going to 500 and I tell I'm 800. Nothing awful for a pepper and a muton kuton. Or pepper and a muton kuton, or shown a bar. Or shown a bar, who are so Udaria, not true. You must go for Quanya, Yen Tonku. You make Quanya Yen Tonku. I just a school for school. Like I say, I'm a Quintino. Then your pepper and a Sia or pepper and a car. A school for school. Come on, talk. So a pepper and a bar now in the
But why would you go for the processed creams and lotions when the active ingredient in most of these moisturizers is readily available? The regular patrons know, and it shows in sales for these traders.
And this cream no srema ho but in kutoni de osra e ma obode ne fine e ma opene nso mfa
na openo ba na uton kutoni pa
oh at times yet me to bet opemre no ene ye to ne mo se nkwala no nse a opene ba ma mu ye fita na adi nti wudi sra na e ma ne kala ne ye fine ti se first na
me to 1 city na
Me patrol in Kuno, Hamatan into who used to share Batana, Emma home pipe, Hunamnia Kama. When I went in Sabat, I'm so one who drew me the white one, almost an air papa. According to woman, I've been done material or church, said, if you know the color fry, yellow one of the color fry, but white one in it, papa, and it's Remudi and Catan. And I know some was skin. To say by our pen on show, I really tell my Bible about the children. And I overton to a piabana. Says Anna, what is slap around now? It's me, man, that in rain. Can't buy ham, but it feels smooth to find. It was me and Sumo. Sumo, cocoa cream, can you be in Sumo?
So go ahead, apply the shea butter generously to your heels, elbows, calves, and legs. The parts of the body most affected during the Harmattan. Keeping a portion of shea butter close by, remember, keeps the patchiness away. While at it, I wish you a happy Harmattan.
I wish you happy Harmattan. Still to come in business, poultry farmers are making the case why you should opt for the local chicken instead of the imported ones. Abigail Adumakwen, she comes up with business.
So Christmas is just around the corner, and of course the business world would have a lot to give you. Now I'm Abigail Adumakwenchi here to update you with what's happening in the world of business. Now if poultry is featuring in your meals this Christmas, then the country's farmers are making a case why you should opt for locally bred rather than imported. Speaking to Joy News at a fair to promote the local sector, the chairman of the Kwapim South Poultry Farmers Association said the country's patronage of the imported poultry is driving them out of business, even though the local chicken is more nutritious and tastier.
Poultry industry is fraught with several challenges, including high cost of input and restricted markets for the sale of their products. These challenges have been made worse with the importation of frozen poultry, pushing local poultry farmers out of business.
We have realized the meat that are imported into the country has a lower cost as compared to what we produce here because of the inputs. So that has been the challenge. There has to be an aid in our inputs so that we can also sell it reasonably as it's being imported into the country.
They say the industry is no more lucrative. For them, the local poultry is the best since the safety and nutritional value can be guaranteed.
What we are producing in Ghana, our poultry farmers are producing in Ghana, it's more fresh. You buy it, kill it yourself, and you cook immediately. And because there's local supervision of the veterinary service, their products, we can vouch for them. But those that come in, we might not be able to say what happens there.
In order to get farmers make more sales this festive season, the first Poultry Fair has been organized at the Ga West District. The fair brought together some stakeholders and farmers in the poultry industry from the district.
Poultry, it's somehow pushed to people who are not skilled enough. It's like you want to do it as a second kind of job. That is why most of our poultry industry is not doing well. But if we can get people who have the know-how on board doing it, and then making sure that they impart that skills and that wisdom that they have pertaining to poultry to the people that also have the determination to enter but have no skill, then I believe that there's going to be a great impact, and this is going to boost poultry industry.
The 3-day fair is also aimed at exposing poultry farmers in the district to help keep them in business.
Well, let's do all to patronize local poultry this Yuletide. Now, the Export Marketing and Quality Awareness Project of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is set to improve the market infrastructure and productivity of horticultural produce in the country. This is to boost the contribution of the sector to the non-traditional export sector, which has seen a decline in recent times. Contribution of horticulture to the total value of non-traditional exports has fluctuated in the last decade. A study by Agric Impact indicates that horticulture grew from 9% in 2000 to its highest of 19% in 2002 and has since declined steadily to 4% in 2011, although it realized a growth of 376% over the same period. Even though domestic demand for major fruits and vegetables has increased by over 50% in the last 4 years, the executive director of Agric Impact Consult does not believe market opportunities have been fully exploited.
And agriculture is not just production, like the way you take cattle and go to the farm and then you go and weed. No, we have passed that stage. We have to introduce intensive production technologies where you can even produce tomato and produce onion without touching the soil. You produce lettuce, it has not touched any soil. It is so clean and everybody will want to buy. We need to create regional market opportunities. But once we are importing, we should be able to take advantage of our own market and also grow and supply.
Price fluctuations of horticultural produce, he says, also remains a challenge.
Now, mango prices can increase by 700% within a year. Onions increase 1,125% in a year. 1,500. We grow, we consume, and then over a short period of time, we depend on Niger to supply. And then at a point, Niger is out of the market, and then we go to Holland and bring more. But this is different from going to, say, South Africa, where the price can remain the same throughout the year.
But government says it is already mapping out some strategies to address the challenges.
We know as a country and as a ministry that we needed to provide a proper places where fruits can be sorted, cleaned, packed, and transported to the distribution centers. And so for that reason, we have provided a modern packhouse in Vakpo to start with. As part of the project's intervention, we are also developing drip irrigation systems which will minimize the use of water or conserve a lot of water, thereby improving the productivity of the crops.
The Export Marketing and Quality Awareness Project of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is meanwhile taking stakeholders in the sector through a series of workshops to explore new market opportunities for horticultural produce. For more business news, log on to My Joy Online. I'm Abigail Adomakwentri. Stay on for more news.
Business was brought to
Let's chase the latest headlines in the world of sport, and Raja Casablanca would be out to end their ongoing fairy tale in the 2013 FIFA Club World Cup when they face Bayern Munich in the grand finale tomorrow, live on the Joy Sports channel at 7:30 p.m. Raja Casablanca will become the first African side to win the Club World Cup if they beat German giants Bayern Munich in Saturday's final. It's a tough task for the unfancied Moroccans to overcome the reigning European champions, but they will be roared on by a partisan crowd in Marrakesh. Raja became only the second African club to reach the final by pulling off a stunning 3-1 win against Brazil's Atlético Mineiro with former world player Ronaldinho, and they will take confidence into the match despite having a squad that sits only mid-table in the Moroccan League. The game seems to be the biggest mismatch in the history of the competition. While Bayern Munich are unbeaten in the Bundesliga since October last year, Raja's results in the Moroccan League have been so bad that they fired coach Mohamed Fakir early this month. Whether Raja will get the chance to attack Bayern depends on the ability to defy the odds again and play the game of their lives. The Germans were giving buys until the semi-final stage, where they showed their quality by sweeping aside Asian giants Guangzhou Evergrande of China 3-0. The Germans have already won the Champions League, Bundesliga, German Cup and UEFA Super Cup, and will be hoping to add to their cabinet. The action will be live on the Joy Sports channel and Multi TV at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. All right, so these Raja boys, I'm not too sure what they'll do if they win it, because there are a number of stars as well in Bayern Munich. I'm not too sure what will happen. Very interesting over there, though. Let's talk about some issues here in the country. And the Ghana FA Disciplinary Committee has declared Wigan United winners of the MTN FA Cup preliminary game against Tamale Liberty after its sitting today. Wigan United will thus play Asante Kotoko next week Tuesday. United will host Asante Kotoko at the Bolga Park in the second round of the 2013 MTN FA Cup following a disciplinary committee decision. The third-tier side protested against Tamale Liberty, who won the preliminary round fixture 2-0 for fielding two unqualified players, Sani Sanjo Mutala and Idrisu Amin. By the decision, Waga would have the chance of testing the Porcupine Warriors on December 24 for a place in the third round. The second round matches in the cup competition will begin on December 21 and end on December 29. 64 teams made up of Premier Division 1 and 2 sides are involved in the second round stage of the competition.
You know, and I was watching the footage on the World Club Championship match between Raja and Ronaldinho,
Atletico Mineiro.
And you know, I'm curious what exactly was going on with one of the players
and Ronaldinho. It wasn't one of the players. You know, after the game,
were they just starstruck?
But you know, during the game, they managed to play and win. After the game,
that was impressive.
That was impressive. Yeah. After the game, we're like, okay, this is the star we've been looking for. This is the man we've been speaking about. Let's take whatever we can take from him. They hugged him, kissed him, took his shoes.
And if the producer can play back some of them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was if the guy wanted to kiss him more.
No more. They did so. Touch his hair, have a feel of this guy called Ronaldinho, take his shoes, take his socks. I mean, it was only God. The guy
they took his shoes?
They took his shoes. They left him with his socks, actually. Everything about the player was, touched by the guys. And I don't know what you want to call this, but maybe starstruck is even an understatement. They were just simply overwhelmed to see Ronaldinho. Look at them. Very, very excited to see the guy having to play the ball. But you know, Ronaldinho is the star player. And even if he comes to ground,
taking off his boots.
You know, I mean, it's very, very interesting. It happens, but let's find out what happens when they play, Bayern Munich in the final. If they're able to win, you just cannot tell. That game is live on the Joy Sports channel.
Probably in the Bayern Munich game, they may stop, during the game and just watch.
I mean, a very, very determined side, Raja, and I feel that if they can carry this along, they might be able to.
But I wish them all the best. I think they've done a brilliant job so far.
Right, so do join us tomorrow. The time is 7:30. Live game. That's Bayern Munich up against the team we're all looking up for, Raja Casablanca. And there's another game. That's the third place game. Do join us there. That'll be up for sports tonight. My name is George Adijina. Israel will join us with some more then. Good night.
Sports was brought to you in association with.
Before we go a quick run through our top stories, obsolete electrical wiring cited as possible cause of fire at Old Parliament House offices of Shraj and Judgment Debt Commission. President Mahama assures schools under trees should be phased out by 2016. Poultry farmers make the case why you should go for the locally bred chicken this Christmas rather than the imported ones at the local fair here in Accra. And Upper West FDA destroys unwholesome goats confiscated during the year. And that'll be all for the bulletin. My name is Israel. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. And for those of you starting your Christmas break from today, I wish you happy holidays.